Shalom, Ahab, wa Baraka. First and foremost, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to all the elders, to the prophets and the apostles, going out and sincerely bringing out this truth. And today, I wanted to get into a simple breakdown, but let's start with the truth. Let's start with the truth. Let's go to St. John. We're going to go to chapter 8. And we're going to read verses 31 and 32. And Yahweh Shai, and I'm sorry, I'm getting excited already. All right, let's go to the book of John, chapter 8. We're going to start at verse 31. Then said Yahweh Shai to those Jews which believed on him, if you continue in my word, then ye are my disciples indeed. So if we keep this word and we keep studying and stick to it, don't forbear the word. In other words, don't fall away from it. Don't start doing something else and kind of tapering. Verse 32, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Let's get a precept on that. Let's go to Amos, because who's going to keep the word and who's going to stay studying, who's going to stay bringing out this truth? Well, let's find out. Go to Amos 3 and 7. Surely Yahweh will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto the servants, the prophets. So the real prophets are going to have 100% truth. And with that being said, I'm going to bring out the truth on the parable of the fig tree. But I don't know if you guys know this or not, but there's 3 separate fig tree parables. So I'm going to break them all down for you. First, let's go to Luke chapter 13. And we're going to read verses 6 through 9. And he spake also this parable. A certain man had a fig tree planted in his vineyard, and he came and sought fruit thereon, and found none. Then said he unto the dresser of his vineyard, behold, these 3 years I come seeking fruit on this fig tree, and find none. Cut it down. Why cumbereth it the ground? So we got to look up that word cumbereth right now. We can't just let that get away. What is the biblical definition of cumbereth?
According to Wardman, burdensome, hindering or obstructing, rendering action difficult or toilsome, clogging, cumbersome.
So there you heard it. A rendering action or toilsome, clogging. Difficult or toilsome. Serving to obstruct or hinder. Burdensome, clogging. So, burdensome. So in other words, if it doesn't bring forth fruit, it becomes a burden to take care of something that's not doing what it's supposed to. In fact, let me show you what that's really talking about real quick, because that's a very interesting precept. I mean, that's an interesting verse, and every time I read that verse, this precept comes to my mind, and so I want to bring it out. It's Exodus 32. It started at verse 9. And the Lord said unto Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people, burdensome. Now therefore let me alone, that I may that my wrath may wax against them, that I may consume them, and I will make of thee a great nation. So he's saying, let me cut them down. They're cumbersome. They're a burden to me. They produce no fruit. But and let me go back over to the book of Luke and keep reading. We're going back to chapter 13, and we're going to go back into verse 7. Then said he unto the dresser for his vineyard, behold, these 3 years I have come seeking fruit on the fig tree, and find none. Cut it down. Why cumbereth it the ground? Cut it down. Let's keep going. And he answering said unto him, Lord, let it alone this year also, till I shall dig about it and dung it. And if it bear fruit, well. And if not, then after that, thou shalt cut it down. And he was teaching on one side of the synagogue on the Sabbath. But listen carefully. Let's keep reading over here now back to Exodus 32. And we're going to go to verse 11. And Moses besought the Lord Yahweh and said, Lord, why doth thy wrath wax hot against thy people, which thou brought forth out of the land of Egypt with great power and with a mighty hand? Wherefore should the Egyptians seek and say, for mischief did he bring them out, to slay them in the mountains and consume them from the face of the earth? Turn thy fierce wrath and repent of this evil against thy people. Remember Abraham, Isaac, and Yasharal, thy servants, to whom thou swearest by thy own self, and saidst unto them, I will multiply your seed as the stars of heaven, and all this land that I have spoken of will I give unto your seed, and they shall inherit it forever. And the Lord repented of the evil which he thought to do unto his people. So let me read it again. And this is Luke chapter 13 and verse 7 through 9. Then said he unto the dresser of his vineyard, behold, these 3 years I come seeking fruit on this fig tree. He wants the Israelites, his children, to bear fruit. How do we bear fruit? By bringing out the word, by teaching each other, by keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, by living our lives correctly, by conforming to the elders and actually learning, and stop thinking that you know everything. If thou comest to teach, then thou should become a student again. So let me keep going. And he answered and said unto the Lord, let it alone this year also, till I shall dig about it and dung it. So he wants to teach the children of Israel. What is he going to teach them? He's going to teach them the laws, the statutes, and the commandments. And that's the first breakdown. Now let's jump over to Luke chapter 21. That was the first fig tree parable. Now I'm going over to Luke chapter 21 and 29 through 33. Starting at verse 29. And he spake to them a parable. Behold the fig tree, and all the trees, when they now shoot forth, ye see and know of your own selves that summer is now nigh at hand. Likewise ye, when you see these things come to pass, know ye that the kingdom of Yahweh is nigh at hand. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass away till all be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. What is this fig tree parable talking about? Well, let's get into it a little bit. Let's jump over to the book of Isaiah and find out what this one's talking about. Let's go to chapter 61, and we're going to start at verse 11. For verse 11, Isaiah 61 and verse 11. For as the earth bringeth forth her bud, and as the garden causeth the things that are sown in it to spring forth, so Yahweh will cause righteousness and praise to spring forth before all the nations. So when the fig tree and all the trees now shoot forth, when we start prophesying the end times, know that the end is near. Let's read it again. Isaiah 61:11. For as the earth bringeth forth her buds, and as the garden causeth and as the garden causeth the things that are sown in it to spring forth, as the garden caused the things so when we all start to wake up, the children of Yasharal, know that the end is near. When we start prophesying this word and everybody starts to realize who they are, know that the end is near. And when Yahweh will cause righteousness and praise to spring forth, that's us going out on the highways and byways. That's the praise and the righteousness springing forth before all the nations, so they can see the real children of Israel for the first time. Now, let's get into the last. You know what? Let's go one more verse. Let's jump over to Isaiah 42. Let's just make sure I'm talking. Let's make sure I'm saying the right thing here. Let's go to Isaiah 42, and we're going to start at verse 9. Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare before they spring forth and tell you of them. Like I said, the springing forth is the prophets prophesying these end times, telling you what's getting ready to happen. And when you see, let's jump back over to Isaiah 61 and 11, or no, all the way back to Luke. Let's go all the way back to Luke 21 and 29. Luke chapter 21 and 29 again. And he spake a parable, behold, the fig tree and all the trees when they shoot forth. So what happens when they shoot forth? What happens when they shoot forth? Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. Sing unto the Lord a new song and his praise from the end of the earth. Ye that go down to the sea and all that is therein, the isles and the inhabitants thereof. Let the wilderness and the cities thereof lift up their voice, the villages that Kendar doth inhabit. So Kedar, the tents of Kedar, the blacks, just say. Let the inhabitants of the rock sing. Let them shout from the tops of the mountains. Let them give glory to Yahweh and declare his praise in the islands. So, I mean, I can just keep going and going, but it's telling you we're prophesying. We're waking up. Let's go back to Luke 21 and 29 through 33 and read it again. And he spoke to them a parable. Behold, the fig tree and all the trees. When they now shoot forth, ye see and know of your own selves that summer is now nigh at hand. Summer is near. So when the prophets start prophesying about the end times, know that the end is near. So likewise, ye, when ye see these things come to pass, know ye that the kingdom of Yahweh is nigh at hand. So when you start seeing these prophecies that the prophets are prophesying to you, when they start happening, know that the kingdom of Yahweh is near. It's about to happen. That's why we keep coming at you day in and day out. And I mean, I work about 50,000 hours a week, but I still find a little bit of time to bring out the word. Let's go to the next verse, 32. So we're at St. Luke chapter 21 and verse 32. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass away till all be fulfilled. So what's going on right now ain't going to stop happening until all the prophecies are fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not. My word does not change. He said that. His word won't pass away. These law, statutes, and commandments are always going to stay. Heaven, the rulership of today will be gone, and the slaves of today will be gone. All that will be passed away, and there will be a new heaven and a new earth. And I'm going to actually just stop right there. I only wanted to get into the parable of the fig trees. So let's go with one more, though. Let's go with one more. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 21, and we're going to start at verse 17. And he left them and went out of the city into Bethany, and he lodged there. Now, in the morning, as he returned into the city, he hungered. And when he saw a fig tree in the way, he came to it and found nothing thereon, but leaves only, and said unto it, let no fruit grow on thee henceforth forever. And presently the fig tree withered away. And when the disciples saw it, they marveled, saying, how soon is this fig tree withered away? Now, when I hear that verse, a whole nother precept comes to mind. I think about the book of Jeremiah, going into chapter 29 and starting at verse 8. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the Lord of war, or Yahweh's Lord of war, or Yahweh's army. Thus saith, this is Jeremiah 29 and 8. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, let not your prophets and your diviners that be in the midst of you deceive you. What did it say over here in Matthew 21 and 17 through 20? It says, and when he saw the fig tree in the way, he came to it, he found nothing thereon but leaves only, and said unto it, let no fruit grow on thee henceforth forever. Now, let me read it again. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, let not your prophets and your diviners that be in the midst of you deceive you, neither hearken to your dreams which ye cause to be dreamed. For they prophesy falsely unto you in my name. I have not sent them, saith the Lord. They're going to be done away with. You bear no fruit. You come in as a false prophet. And Yahushua has proclaimed that he's going to hew you down. And you will wither away. And you will never bear fruit. So, with that being said, I hope you guys, if you have eyes to see and ears to hear, I just hope that this simple breakdown, you were able to get something out of it. The three parables of the fig tree. Shalom.